Who is a scholar then? Who is a scholar? Well, in short, if I was to ask you now, who is a doctor? How would you know who is a true doctor? You know that by signs around that shows that this person who is practicing medicine is really accomplished in that. And the same thing with the scholar. There are signs which indicate that he is truly a scholar, not a charlatan. One thing is that he is fearful of Allah Azza wa Jalla, and you find that his deeds and his conduct are in agreement with what he's preaching is. That's one thing. Second thing is that you find that he has taken knowledge from those who were known in the Ummah to be scholars. And those took it from those who were known and so forth until you go back to the Prophet ﷺ. Among the signs is that you find the people of the earth, wherever this person goes, the people of the earth accept this person. They are pleased with him. I mean here by the people of the earth, the Muslim people, the righteous people. Take this hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ says, as reported by Abu Hurairah, that when Allah loves one of his servants on the earth, he calls out to Jibreel. And Jibreel then falls prostrate and then raises his head. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Jibreel that, "Oh Jibreel, I love so and so, so love him." So then the angel Jibreel starts loving this person. And then Jibreel announces in the heavens to the other angels, "Allah loves so and so, so love him." So the other angels love this person. And then on earth, acceptance is given for this person. And that's why you find the great scholars of Islam are those who the people of the earth have accepted. The Muslims have accepted, have all agreed to their scholarship. That wherever you go, you find the people listening to their fatwas, trying to follow them, asking them, looking up to them, praising them. At the time of their death, people are in tears, people in large multitudes pray upon their funeral prayers. Just like we witnessed during the last year, in the year 1420, when a number of scholars died. And I'd like to mention 4 of them because wherever you travel on the earth, you find these 4 scholars, that the Muslims, wherever you go in any land, you find these Muslims relying upon and benefiting from them and praising these men. Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz, Sheikh Al-Albani, Abu al-Hassan Ali al-Nadwi, Sayyid Sabiq. These 4 men who lived in the last century, where people, wherever you go, you find people benefiting from them. Sayyid Sabiq, who wrote a book as a young man called Fiqh al-Sunnah. It's translated in over 20 or 30 languages. Wherever you go, in any masjid around the world, you find a copy of that book in that language that the people speak. Abu al-Hassan Ali al-Nadwi, whose books number maybe in the hundreds, and Muslims have been benefiting him from more than one generation. The great scholar of India, also. The people of the earth have accepted him. Likewise, Sheikh Al-Albani, the great scholar of hadith, who the whole ummah has in the last century relied upon his grading and his knowledge of hadith, and he's the one who has revived the sunnah in this generation. And likewise, Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz, who his funeral prayer, his janazah, was such that has never been recorded in the history of Islam, such large numbers to pray upon any single individual. So much so that people throughout the earth were doing Salat al-Ghaib for this person. I was teaching the brothers this afternoon when we were doing our course in Aqeedah about how the Prophet ﷺ taught us that if a person finds 40 righteous people, prays upon his janazah, then their intercession will be accepted before Allah Azza wa Jalla for that person. And how we were commenting how any one of us wishes, especially since we are all living in lands of the unbelievers, that if we're afraid that if we die, where are we going to find just 40 people to pray janazah upon our prayer? Let alone having 40 righteous people pray our janazah. So how about Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz, who had in Mecca at least 2 or 3 million people who prayed in Masjid Haram for him. They came all over the world just to pray that. And then in city after city around the world, they were praying janazah for him. Salat al-Ghaib. Is this not an indication of what the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ said? That if Allah loves somebody, then He tells Jibreel to love him, and Jibreel loves him, and then the angels love him, and then on earth acceptance is made for him? Of course this is a sign. If this is not a sign, then what would be a sign? Is it not a sign that Sayyid Sabiq has in every single masjid, in most homes in the world, you find people having a copy of his book, Fiqh al-Sunnah? Is this not a sign that he's been given acceptance on the earth? And what would be a sign? What would be a sign? So, anyway, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show mercy to our scholars. These were just some thoughts about the importance of, not backbiting our fellow Muslims and of course the scholars. And know, and finally, like Ibn Nasruddin al-Dimashqi has said, that whoever attacks the scholars, their flesh is poisonous. In other words, if you backbite somebody, it's like eating the flesh of your brother. But eating the flesh of the scholar has also poison in it to you. And that whoever does this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will destroy him in his religion before his death. So whoever you find speaking ill about the scholars, then know that before this person dies, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to strike him down in his religion, unless he repents from that. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. And I apologize to the organizers and the audience for going over time. وجزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
سنخوض معاركنا معهم وسنمضي جموعا نردعهم ونعيد الحق المغتصب وبكل القوة ندفعهم.